It's what you said just now. So if I have a beat and that beat is the opening credit for Scheme Sum, and they use it for from 2015 to 2020, I'll earn
Yeah.
on that beat, right? Say it doesn't, say we carry on living life, and then in 2025, another advert for Omo washing powder picks up the same beat because it's still in the catalog. It doesn't go out of the catalog. They pick up the same
Oh,
beat. Then you start earning on that same beat again. This is what I'm saying. It's a numbers game. The more beats I have out there with the music publishers, the more chance that my beat will get picked up and will then get used. So the beats that I've made in 2014 might only get used in 2030.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, what up, yo? You already know what time it is, baby. Conversation with the Stars time, hosted by yours truly, Uncle Black. It ain't getting no better than this. So, like, yeah, yesterday we had the incredible Sam Loco in the building. So, we ain't stepping down today. We got another star coming in. So, like, yo, bro, you ready? Yeah, ready? I don't think you're ready for today. So, today we got a very, very special producer. Like, yo, I've been following the homie for like quite some years because, like, he's producing for one of my favorite rappers in the whole country, bro. Like PdotO. So like, yeah, I'm just gonna get Silas Beats on, and we're gonna get to know him better, and like get to know what kind of person he is, where he been, how he got where he got, and maybe you get inspired. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? It's conversation with the stars, baby. No time for play. Let me just try to get Silas on. Yeah, real quick. Yeah. We're looking G'd up today. We're looking G'd up. Alright, yeah. Alright, let me just, Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting for my brother to get on. Hi, big bro, you.
What up, man? How are you?
I'm good. You good?
Yeah, no, I'm 100.
Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate it.
I'm most deaf, bro. Most definitely.
Are you working there?
Actually, yeah, you caught me. I was busy getting files ready for a client.
Oh, I got like it's some exclusive. I would say play some, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I see you getting that bag.
What's that?
I see you getting that bag. You got a million clients now.
Hey, bro. You know what? I wish I had more, to be honest. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Can never have enough.
You can never have enough. I guess you really
Yeah.
try to move like the
Mm.
men like Ryan Leslie.
Yeah, nah.
So, man, yeah, I've been like, I've been knowing you for like quite some time. You know, you once did a song of one of my friends. I don't know if you probably remember it, like Mac, Dirty Money. You did like you mix and mastered the song. That's when I
Mhm.
got to know you. And then one of the things that made me love you even more is that you produced for my favorite rapper in the country, bro. So like PdotO. So like, yeah. So it made me like get real close to you because I'm always listening to PdotO like since high school. Like so, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really feel honored to be talking to you, Fanda. Yeah.
Ah, no, most deaf, bro. No, those guys are all very talented, bro.
Yeah, bro, talented girl. So like, I want to know how was your childhood like? Like, what kind of person were you growing up?
My childhood, I was shy, man. I was so shy. I didn't speak much. I was super average. I was an average student. I grew up in East London, in the Eastern Cape. Super average student, and yeah, man, it was chilled, I guess. Nothing too hectic happened. You know, we used to stay in Queenstown, also in the Eastern Cape. It was also, yeah, pretty much a chilled childhood, chilled schooling.
As I see you seem to be like traveling a lot. Actually, let me say you traveled a lot. Like, how did that affect you? Did that not make you not want to have friends and stuff like that?
Traveling. Nah, actually, that all happened. It all happened. Most of it happened before I was born. So my parents came here from Uganda. They came to
Okay.
SA from Uganda, but they went through Lesotho. That's where I was born. Then from there, they
Oh,
went to Queenstown. And by the time we were in Queenstown, I must have been like, what, a few years old. We left Queenstown and went to East London. That was when I was like 6. So all of these things were at times that I was like, I didn't really remember. The only other traveling I did was to then study in Cape Town and then eventually come to Joburg.
oh, that's why you became a physiotherapist.
Yeah, in Cape Town. That's where I studied. I was there a
What
couple of
made
years. Yeah.
you end up? If I may ask, because like you seem to be like indoors. Did you play any sports?
Yeah. Soccer. I
Really?
actually wanted. I wanted to play soccer. I wanted to play soccer. So I followed Chelsea, right? Chelsea FC. I wanted to go to London after matric. I remember asking my
What?
parents. I was like, "Can I please go?" I was playing for clubs. I was doing everything. I was gymming every day. I was just trying my best. And my parents were like, "Hell no!" No, typical African parents are like, "No way are we sending you to London to go mess around there for a while. Just go study something." So I started looking around, and I was like, this, at least with physio, it's got to do with the body, and it'll, I might not be able to play soccer, but at least I can treat people with injuries from playing
Yeah,
soccer. I was as close as I could get. And yeah,
yeah.
that's how it ended up. So who knows, in another life I could have been playing football on TV.
How good were you?
I was decent. I was I played left back, right?
Oh.
And then at some point they pushed me up front.
Aye, so like up front, would you score? Would you assist? Like I'm trying to imagine you.
That's why they put me there. First, I was left back, then they pushed me to left wing, and then they pushed me to striker, and that's where yeah, that's me now. I strike.
Aye,
I still
as
play
you
now. I
can
still play now. Even five aside. Yeah, five aside. If you're having a game, invite me over. I'll come through.
and I'd rather watch. I'm not good.
Yeah.
Yes, person picks up. I wonder who you play with. You play with some industry niggas?
With who? Oh, with industry? Nah, 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 nah. I don't. I try and keep that side of my life to myself. Everybody
Ooh.
needs a break. But yeah, no, it's I play with people that I studied with. Just some other friends. That I've made through studies and stuff like that, and through work. So yeah, that's generally who I play with.
I understand. I understand. So, like, you studying, has that ever made you wanna put music on a pause?
By studying.
You start, yeah. Did you ever
Mhm.
wanna put music on a halt, Nyana?
No, actually, I can say it was actually a nice escape
Oh,
because with studying, it was really about getting into a routine and going to lectures and sitting through tests and exams and, all of that stuff. Whereas with music, that was always something that it was like therapy. So when I needed to relax, I didn't go out much, go to parties and all of that much when I was at varsity. So I'd spend a lot of time in my room. I just open up my programs. I just start loading up. I didn't know what I was doing. It was just a straight up hobby. And yeah, so at no point have I ever felt like I want to put music on a hold because it's just something that's always just managed to fit in with the rest of my life.
so when do you decide that, okay, let me take this music serious? Like, let me start charging. When do you do that?
I tried charging at varsity, but at varsity people don't have money. I was selling beats. I remember I sold my first beat for 50 rand.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I felt good. I felt so good. And then from there, I had a couple of beat sales here and there. So it wasn't so serious until I got to Joburg and I started moving around in certain circles, met up with a couple of people, and I saw people were selling beats for like a K, 2.5, 7,000. I was like, no, I want to be like that. So in 2000 and I think 14, I started getting serious with selling beats. And then by 2015, once I'd set up, a little mic for myself, some speakers and all of that stuff, that's when I really started to get into, taking it seriously, investing money and, doing Facebook ads and trying to bring people in and just publicizing myself.
Yeah, this is very dope. You know, like a lot of times, like we just happen to jump into stuff without planning and not knowing like what to do with it. So like that's one thing I like about you. I realize that you're very organized about this thing. Like you're super calculated because I can see sometimes you're giving some advices on different platforms. Like it doesn't
Mm.
matter if it's what or YouTube, but you always talk about how calculated you have to be. So did you grow up close to agents, or where did you get that mindset?
Hey, dude, I actually have no idea. I have no idea where that came from. Um, that what you mean that thing of where the information and stuff, giving that out.
Yeah, yeah. You know, no, no, I was talking about like you being calculative and responsible
Oh,
about the music. Like you were new, there's no manual in here. Like how did you know that okay, I have to fall back, calculate every move I make, I have to do this. How did you figure it out?
hey man, can I tell you the truth? I don't think. I think what people end up seeing is that I'm calculated, but I try a lot of things. So I'm all over the place. As much as it might not seem like it, I'm all over the place. Um, Anyone that knows me knows that my mind is everywhere, and sometimes things work, sometimes they don't work. When they don't work, I leave it very quickly, and I just keep on focusing on the things that do work. So I don't think I'm as organized as you think I might be.
I, so you're saying you don't take those advices you're giving?
I should. You know what? A lot of that advice, a lot of it, I'm talking to myself. I I should be
All
better. Like,
right.
yeah, that's why it's so easy to give because all I'm doing is I'm just lecturing myself.
Opening up. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like it's good. I want to let you have a little argument with this. First of all, are you a Christian?
I am.
Are you a Christian? Do you believe in God?
I do.
Okay, so like there's this little saying that says prayer is like meditation or just you opening up to nature. Like it's like I can just now walk to the river and just by myself and start talking out my problems and talk about the things that I would like to get, and the universe will speak back. Is it the same thing as prayer?
That's a tough one. You're talking about prayer. Are you talking about um, almost like what can I call it? Almost like vision. Like you speak things out and then they happen.
Yeah, because like it's like you're talking to God according to your understanding. You're talking to God, and God is blessing you back. And some say you're talking to nature, and nature is responding back. Like, is it the
Mhm.
same thing? What's your view on it?
I look. I believe that there's. I do believe in that. I do believe that we all need a center. We all need a center point that we can keep referring back to because this world is tricky, man. It's difficult to navigate and we need a center point. So whether you find that point, say for myself through prayer or through meditation, that's also something that I do. And meditation being something, I'm not talking about like going and finding a corner, lighting a candle and making some tea. I'm talking about going and like I'll spend an extra 5 minutes in the shower where I'm just trying to plot the day, or I'll spend a little bit of extra time in the car. I'll turn the radio off and I'll just, try and focus and just, try and center myself. That's where my belief lies with regards to that. But at the end of the day, there still has to be some kind of action. I can't pray, and then still continue doing the same things. Otherwise, I just feel like it's a it's a waste of time.
Yeah, like even the Bible
Yeah.
itself, like prayer without action is useless. Yeah. So like yeah, back to the music. You've been in East London making these beats. Yeah, now you're like you in Josie. I think you started getting the recognition when you started working with PdotO and J Dollars, right?
Yep. And I
How did
hadn't
that
even
happen?
met them yet. Actually, it's funny. It's a funny story. I worked
Oh,
with them before I met them. I worked with them when I was still at varsity, when I was in Cape Town. I remember, so with varsity, you get those breaks. when it's normal time, not like now, but you get those breaks, right? I remember there was a break and I had gone back to East London and I was going to the shop. I remember it was a Saturday and I was listening to Ground Zero. Black Famous was the guy. He was the, what's this? He was the presenter at the time. He played a song called I Tried. And I was like, hi, man, who's this person? Sounds like an American. In fact, for a moment, I thought it was like a Jay-Z or someone. Anyway, the song ends. Now, because I have him on, was I using BBM at the time or WhatsApp? I'm giving away my age. I texted Black and I was like, Black, who is this guy? And he was like, his name is PdotO. He's a rapper. In fact, he's from East London, but he's staying in Joburg. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. When I got back to Cape Town, I DM'd PdotO. And I was like, hey man, I don't know. This was 2010. Yeah, 2010. I still have the message. Hey man, I don't know. Like, I know you don't know who I am, but I've got some beats. You know, can you just possibly give them a listen? He was like, yeah, man, so send them through. I sent the beats through. I think it actually might have been one beat. And it just so happened that he was going to studio. I think it was the next day or the day after that, he was going to studio. And the next message I got from him was, man, this beat, we've already recorded to it. So when he said we, I didn't know who he was talking about. That's when they did Matter of Fact. And yeah, that was the first interaction that I had with them. From there, I spoke to P. I think I sent him a few more beats. And then eventually, I think 2 years later, in 2012, a guy by the name of Nick Explicit, who I'd met, then took me through to Jay Lawless's house, and that's how I then started interacting with everybody.
Oh wow! So like I tried the song. I tried talking about you know I tried hard. You know I tried hard. That song.
I've even forgotten how it's. We've done so much music together. But,
so like. I want to understand, how is it like when you finally get in studio together and start to work? Like, do you have some kind of, I don't know how to call it, like is it fear or, I don't know how to call it, like.
Anxiety, nervousness.
Yeah, some nervousness.
Yeah. You know, I get that with, I was in studio, I think it was last week, and I was speaking to one of my engineers and I was like, do you know that to this day, I still get nervous before every single studio session I walk into? I don't know what it is. I get this feeling, it wells up in my chest and I'm like, I'm not all right. But I think when you get into studio with a person like P or Blacklist, whoever it might be, the thing that I've seen that's different to some of the other sessions is the ease of the session. When everybody believes and when everybody knows that what they're bringing to the party, they're confident in what they're bringing to the party. I know that when I step into a session now, provided I'm working behind my workstation, my computer, my tools, I can deliver anything. In the same way, I know that when P walks into the room, whether I need him to rap, sing, you know, go on a slow beat, hard beat, he believes in himself as well. And that makes the session so relaxed that it ends up just being a really fun time. We, you know, going back and forth, we'll crack jokes, we'll talk about soccer in between, we'll talk about just life in general in between. And then you get that, we then develop that brotherly relationship because of that.
Yeah, it has to be family, like, yeah, I like that. So like, have you ever been at a point where you thought of like maybe having some sort of label together?
No, I don't. Okay. So with him specifically, I think our plans possibly just haven't aligned like that. In general, I don't foresee myself ever being in a situation where I am able to offer an artist a good enough contract. I don't believe as though I'm able to, because I see I've had a lot of friends who have been either screwed over by your majors. I've seen their contracts and I'm like, I understand you were screwed over, but I don't know if I would do it differently. If I look at the business aspect of things and I'm like, I don't know how I would be able to structure, if there was a way that I could structure a contract or structure a business, and then I'm going to give the artists exactly what they need, have them not feel like they're being screwed over, then definitely I would do that. But until I figure that out, I can't have a record label. The other problem is being accountable to another artist. I can't do that. I can't have someone blowing me up on the phone saying, "Hey man, where's my next single dropping? When are you going to do the marketing? When are you gonna?" Because I have to do that for myself. So I don't feel as though I'd give them the right amount of attention if I did have a record label.
I hear you. Like I would be shocked if you said that because I know you're like super against labels. Always you speak against labels all the time. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong?
You
Someone
must
will
get
say,
into a label deal, then you'll see.
huh?
I'm saying you must get into a label deal and you see. It always starts out okay, and everybody's like, oh, okay, this feels good. It feels good. And then after some time, you're like, oh, what's going on here? This is not what I signed up for. And then from there, usually, I'm not saying that all deals are bad. Before I used to be totally anti record label. But
Yeah,
now I believe some people benefit. You know, at the very least, you might get the marketing, you might get a little bit of this, you might get a video or three. Sharp. Get what you get. Understand what you're getting out of the situation. But for the most part, the people that I've dealt with, they don't get what they want.
you know what? Sometimes I wonder if it's really that they don't get what they want, or they just haven't paid their dues yet. Because the label invests a lot in you. Like you have to pay it
Mm.
back. The
It's
impatient.
understanding. It's the understanding. They might not understand, and this might be on a basic level. I see I lead Beats, a guy that I speak to quite often about contracts, and that on a basic level, people usually don't go through their contracts. Let me say artists. Give them that thick, give them, they, labels know exactly what they're doing when they give them that thick document. They know that they're not going to read through that thing. They're more keen on what's my advance? How many videos do I get? Which studios am I going to record with? And who am I going to feature on my tracks? That's where their
Yeah,
focus is. And by the time they like, things are not looking so good, then they'll take the contract and then they'll get someone to look over it. And then they'll say, yo, I know they got you here. At that point, it's too late. You've signed and it's tough. It's difficult. It's tough.
yeah, and you have to pay back now. You end up being binded and not being able to leave. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
such slavery. So I would have
Yeah.
been shocked if you said like you would own a label because I know you respect it. So like what ways do you make money as a producer besides selling beats to rappers? Actually artists, not rappers.
Okay, so the primary thing I'll go and actually look, there was a list I looked through earlier. Primary thing is royalties. I think over the past 4 years, my top earner has been through royalties. Those royalties are earned either through things like radio play, syncing. So if my music gets synced to, say, TV or a radio advert, or it's being used in something, then I get paid through that, and that's been a big one. Um, Recording is a big one also because through recording, people get to physically walk into my space, meaning I get to then sell them beats, I get to do mixing, I get to do mastering with them. Another way is through consultations. So I'll jump on a call with someone and we'll just start talking about, you know, the industry and what they want their role or their footprint in the industry to be. Another one is beat tutoring. So if there are any aspiring beat makers that want the basics taught to them, you know, structure, sound selection, mixing, mastering, those elements, then I jump in and I can do some of that. Off the top of my head, what else? I think that's pretty much it. Here and there, there'll be a speaking gig or like a small thing, a small arrangement that I'll have with someone for whatever reason, a feature or whatever it might be. But those are very, very rare.
I understand that, but you seem like I said, you seem to have your shit together. Like you're so organized and knowledgeable about this whole
Now,
thing.
it's not like if I could show you just I keep a notebook with me and I write everything down, which I guess doesn't really help my case, but I write everything down and it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. The thought process is just, I'm all over the place all the time.
It's hard to believe. Yeah, I respect that mindset, but like on top of that, you're doing some other stuff in some corporate world. You're doing some work with SABC, ETV, Rhythm City. What are you doing there, and how did you get to that?
Ooh,
Let's one by one. Let's take it from SABC. What are you doing? Like,
yeah.
what was the agreement about? What was the whole contract?
Okay, so at the moment, I'm working with a few publishers, a few music publishers in South Africa, actually in the world. But how do I say this? So it started in 2013. I won't take you through the entire thing, but effectively, my thought was when I was watching TV, I heard music playing in the background. I'm like, where do those people get that music from? So I
Yeah,
started
yeah.
digging around. I asked a couple people. I made a couple of phone calls. That took me through to Norm, which is now Capasso, where I had a meeting with a guy by the name of Vivian, I think. I don't even know if he still works there. Then from there, he showed us how it works, how that whole side of there's this complete other world on the other side that exists outside of just trying to get your music onto radio. And yeah, that's how the shows, your rhythm cities and your scandals and that type of stuff, as well as the stuff that's abroad. Like there was an advert, not an advert, it was an opening sequence for a CNN show called Inside Africa. All that's where all of that stuff came from. It was from the music publishing side of things. If there are any producers, I definitely do believe that in addition to them producing for artists, that good long term money would come from them doing library music and music publishing.
Okay, so but I want to understand, like, cause the way you speak, you understand, but I'm having glimpses. I'm like, okay, he's saying this, he's saying like, I want to understand
Yeah.
what do you Rhythm City? What is it that you do? Like, are you making the theme song? Are you playing the music? What are you doing?
Okay, so how the process would work is I make a beat, right? And I'd send that beat through to my music publisher, or I'd send a set of beats through to the music publisher. The music publisher's job is to take the music and shop it out, get people to hear it. They'll go and sit in meetings. They will make phone calls. They've got contacts at certain, with other people who need the music. Then from there, they will then place it as they see fit. So if it's say it's super
Oh,
sport and they need some really, really upbeat, energized, because there's someone who's going to be passing the rugby ball, another person is going to be scoring a goal, and they need that upbeat music. They'll ask for a specific type of music. Then the music
oh,
publisher, who has beats from a lot of music producers, can then go and pick through their catalog and say, that track there sounds nice. Let's take those three as well. Let's take these 7, group them together, and then send them to that person that needs music for Supersport. Then from there, they'll choose to say, we'll use this track and this track and this track. Then there'll be a usage fee. Say it's, I don't know, they're going to use it for a 10-second clip in an advert. And then from there, it gets used. And then from there, you'll then get paid your royalties at a later stage. I hope that makes sense.
yeah, it does. It makes a whole lot of sense. Like you've put it down in a perfect way.
Yeah.
Is the bag like big enough?
Is the bag big enough?
Yeah.
It's, can I say it's, here it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
More so it's a numbers game because let me compare it to something that I think people might understand a bit better. With a track, say I try and get PdotO on a track. We'll work hard on that song. Then from there, we'll put money into marketing. The song will go out, it'll get played, whatever. We'll then earn royalties based on that song. The song is hot for a while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've earned money for that short period of time. With this, it works a bit differently in that the amounts of time that the song might be used for, it might be 3 seconds, it might be 5 seconds there. So you can imagine that some of the smallest amounts that I've earned, I don't know if Skill is still in here, but we've spoken about some of our smallest amounts that we've earned. There's times when I'll get like 20 cents, 50 cents for a track having played somewhere. But then that can go all the way up to however many hundreds of rands, in certain cases, thousands of rands, tens of thousands of rands. The nice thing about that is that it's long term. It's not a case where it's short lived. It's not like the song is hot now, it's done. It's if my song is playing in, say, Generations, and it plays
Yeah,
for 5 seconds in Generations, and they use it a few times, it will play. Each of those times I'll get paid that it plays, and then there'll be the omnibus, and then if it goes into syndication and it goes out into the rest of the continent, whatever it is, then there'll be continued payment. So continued payment. So if I can give you the example of, say, Skim Sam
yeah,
opening credit, you can imagine how many days in a week it plays. When the repeats happen, I think it's the following morning, and then possibly an omnibus that then happens later on, and that then continues to go. So you can imagine that if you score in a good, if you get one of those long-term placements, that you actually can continue to earn. There's people in the States, I know in the States, the guys who get songs in Love and Hip Hop, I think that's one of the big ones, Love and Hip Hop,
yeah,
Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because those things go into syndication. Not only do they play in the States, but then that whole however many seasons it is will then play in Austria. And when it plays in Austria, then all of that earning starts again. Then it will
yeah.
then move to Nigeria. All of that earning starts again. So, and that can happen over the course of many years. There's beats that I made in 2013 that that I might only earn on in 2025, which is why this library music thing is a long term. It's a medium to long term game.
Wait. When are the funds processed?
Where are that?
When are the funds processed? I understand that.
Oh,
After
okay,
how
okay.
long?
Yeah. So what I was saying just now is that I have beats that I had sent through to my music publisher in 2013, 2014 that are
Yeah.
being utilized now. Therefore, the payment will then happen the following year. So every year, Samro will then pay out. And Samro has different dates throughout the year when they pay out. So sure, I'll continue to earn each year, but this year I might earn 10 Rand. Next year will be 30 Rand. The following year might be 5,000. Then the following year might be 30. Then it will bump up the following year to 10,000. So it fluctuates, but it's more long term as opposed to having one hit track that makes you your 50,000 for the first 3 months and then it's gone. That track, yeah.
Okay, I want to understand why is it like fluctuating? Is it because of different currencies and stuff like? Because it's now playing
No.
in. I want to understand that.
Yeah,
Like,
yes, it's what you said just now. So if I have a beat and that beat is the opening credit for Skim Sam, and they use it from 2015 to 2020, I'll earn
yeah.
on that beat, right? Say it doesn't, say we carry on living life, and then in 2025, another advert for Omo washing powder picks up the same beat because it's still in the catalog. It doesn't go out of the catalog. They pick up the same
Oh,
beat. Then you start earning on that same beat again. This is what I'm saying. It's a numbers game. The more beats I have out there with the music publishers, the more chance that my beat will get picked up and will then get used. So the beats that I've made in 2014 might only get used in 2030.
yeah.
Yeah.
I get you. I thought like you can only use it once, but is it possible for the? It's not possible. It's only sort of like a lease. You can use it for maybe a certain time, and that's it.
Yeah. So
Oh,
say with it, I guess it all depends because that for me is where the music publisher comes in. I don't get involved with that side of things.
all
Yeah.
right.
They'll then
All
handle
right.
the paperwork where they'll get a usage license to say that they're going to be using it in 3 African countries. They'll be using 30 seconds of it for a campaign that's going to last for 3 months.
Yeah.
And at the end of that period, then they'll no longer be using that. But there've been times, there's a beat I had being used for, is it Markham? And that same beat was used for an outdoor company called Africanyon. And it was roundabout in the same period of time that happened. So, I don't think it's exclusive. I don't think that a lot of these deals are exclusive, that only one company can use it and never again, unless it's for if I can think like if it's a big track and it's being used for a show specifically. So if I got the opening credits for Empire, I'm sure
Yeah.
they wouldn't want that track being used in love and hip hop and all
Yeah.
over the place. I think in that way they might buy it out, or they might give a substantial amount of money to compensate for that.
I understand that. This is very understandable. Yo, this money out here, like, yo.
Right, right.
So, like, have you ever had to work like for a film? Maybe not submit your music for the film, but have to design music for film. Sound
Oh,
actually.
I haven't. I haven't. I wish that's one of my goals. I've got two goals: is to get a film as well as a game.
Game.
A game. Imagine
Wow.
the option
I can't
screen
even.
opens, or you're selecting your character, and your music starts playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
hopefully
So
one of these days.
yeah, yeah, yeah. In time, just keep on investing.
Yeah, exactly.
I see you big believer of investing in yourself. Like how evident has that been to be useful?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I see you've been a big believer of like investing in yourself. Like when you're looking
Mhm.
at it, what are the evidence that you've seen that it is useful?
Mm, evidence from investing in myself.
Yeah,
I guess it's more so in the long term. The benefit is in the long term, I think. I don't I think the reason why people don't invest, and sometimes why we get lazy, is sometimes it takes a long time to see the results. But it's when
yeah,
you start to see those results that you're like, yeah, no. So evidence that I've seen would be like this music publishing thing. In just sitting there and knowing that, look, I submit my music, I'll submit maybe 3, 4, 5 albums to a music publisher and not see a cent for a few years, and then eventually see something. The moment I saw that happen, I was like, yeah, okay, so this it's possible. And
yeah.
yeah, from there, yeah, it's the same as going to gym, man. You go to gym, you lift weights for 2 weeks, you feel sore, but nothing's changed. And this is why we always stop what we're doing. So yeah.
Tell me, man, who's been your favorite artist to work with? Like, cause I would love Toya Delays. For me, it would be Toya Delays. I would say like, yo, that was incredible. So for you, like, obviously as the experience and stuff, who has been like your favorite artist and
to
why?
work to work with
Yeah,
favorite artist to work with, I think it would have to be, I'd definitely say it would be between a guy by the name of Deliza the MD, as well as PdotO as well. They're both clowns. They're both characters when they're in studio, and they make it no longer feels like a session. We don't feel like we are working. It feels like we're just chilling, just having a good time.
doing what we do.
And then the music is good as well, which is great. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'd really love to see Period in studio one day. Like, yeah,
You must come
I'd
through. Come through. This is your formal invitation to come through.
I'm there, but are you in Sense now?
Yes.
You in Sense?
Yeah. Is that far from you?
Nah, I'm in Cosmo.
Ah, dude, you can walk.
Yeah, one day I'll pull up. I would really love, like, you should invite me when he's coming through because, like, I would love to see the both of you at work.
No, I definitely will. We're working on some stuff at the moment, so yeah, definitely.
Speaking on that, bro, you dropped an EP and that there was Lost in it. Yo, are you working on another EPs anytime soon? Like, yo,
Dude, that was a long time. That was in 2014.
told you I've been
Um,
knowing you.
you, I don't know. I don't know. It was easy to work on because Jay Lawless. Well, I didn't do any of the mixing on that thing. I did some of the beats. We worked because he's a music producer as well. We sat and we
Yeah,
worked on the beats together. And then he rapped on every single track. I think there was a P.O feature on that EP, as well as a lady by the name of Joelle, who also sang on one of the tracks. I remember with the Ellie Goulding sample. I haven't
Oh my God.
been in that mode to sit and just work on a project. I've thought about it. I guess I should now. But yeah, it's been a long time. 7 years.
It's been too long. It's been too long. Where's J Dollars anyway?
It's in the States.
He left like back then, I think 2014, 15?
2015. I think it was 2015. Yeah, 2015. He left for the States,
Oh,
and
never.
yeah, he's doing well that side. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah, you once said something that I can never forget. Like, I'm saving, what, or something like saving so I can sell my kidney and move to Finland, something like that. Like, you said
Yeah.
his kid,
No, his lyrics are crazy. His lyrics are always they were always out of they were yeah.
is crazy. So, like, you once attempted 100 beats in June. Tell me about that.
I did 100 beats in June. I did 100 beats in March. I did 100 beats in October as well. It was you look shocked.
Hey, man, 100.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, I won't lie, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And I'd say of the 100, I was probably happy with about 50 of them, maybe 40. But
Yo, bro.
what I liked about it is that it helped to build the catalog. That was the biggest thing. My catalog is huge, and even those beats from back then are still, still being leased now. And it also helped me to know my equipment and know my sounds. Waking up in the morning and knowing that I had to make 4 beats that day, minimum. Was it 4 beats? It was like a weird number, like 3.2 to get it perfectly on 100.
Oh,
It was fun.
wow. Like,
It was
hey,
fun.
bro, you working, yeah. You working, bro. Yo, let me show you something. Speaking of P, I got something next to me, bro.
Yeah, merch.
You see?
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, I just didn't get the Silas Beats yet, but yeah, I've been here. So, like, man, uh, why did you choose Cassens? Like, you could have been in the middle of Josie with a million artists around you. Why did you choose Cassens?
Hell no. Hell no. The thing being in the middle of when before I was in Kaya Sands, I was deep in four-ways. And I panicked because I was like, yo, this is far. People are not going to be able to make it here. So
Oh,
by the time I moved to Kaya Sands, I had realized, man, if people want a certain sound, they will go find it.
yeah.
There were people that were like traveling from PTA, people traveling from, I had one person travel from Cape Town. And
Mm.
I know that these studios are just gang studios. And then the big thing that I had to mention was safety. It's a big thing. I looked at some office spaces in CBD, and yeah, I wasn't okay to just leave my equipment there. Then the other thing was uh this was had more to do with the structure. I don't want to be in an office space where we've got that, the cardboard, almost like cardboard walls, that drywall where it's
Oh,
almost hollow. Yeah. I wanted solid walls, and that place, if you come through, you'll see that that's exactly what we get there. It's a public business space, but we have solid walls. Therefore, the sound doesn't irritate the neighbors.
yeah, it's very important because you might just get kicked out. I just had someone almost being kicked out today for making loud noise, like some producer around. So it was kind of crazy. So like, I
Yeah.
understand what you're talking about. Yeah. So I want to know, like, once upon a time you mentioned your top 5 rappers and you put Nasty C on top, and evidently he's been on top. Right? I don't know how you got that one right. Do you still have the same list, or did it change?
You know what? Can I tell you? And the guy who interviewed me is the pinned your pinned comment in the moment. Quantity breeds quality. Buhle. He was
Oh,
running. Yeah, Hip Hop Galaxy. That's his thing. I'm calling him out now.
share.
He put me on the spot, and he was like, he put me on the spot, and he asked me that question. I didn't have an answer. To be honest, I didn't have an answer, and I
I
waffled. At this point now, I don't have a top five at the moment. And back then I was forced to give an answer. Now I can't give you an answer. I won't give you an answer.
I'll end my grades. One day I'll deserve to get the top five. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't have thought of PdotO. One number, you didn't mention the number one. I was thinking about someone super hardcore, maybe like Youngster or someone super lyrical. And when you came up with next, I was like, okay, why? And when you explained it, I was like, oh, wow. That's one thing I like about producers. They have a different ear from people like me. Like, I grew up rapping, so like, yeah, I have a mindset of like bars, flows. Like, you're thinking about the music. Like, how will people relate? How did the delivery come? Like, so like that's one thing I respect producers. Yeah, I love that. So looking at the state of hip hop right now, would you say it's in safe hands or is it being messed up?
At the moment, the state of hip hop, safe hands. Look, it's at this point we can't really tell whose hands it's in, if I'm being honest, because we don't have the litmus test we don't have that thing, the test of gigs and shows, and those are the true tests and I guess maybe it's an old test. Maybe this is us for the future, but I see people in other parts of the world are opening up. Maybe eventually, once the dust settles and we're no longer just trying to survive, maybe the real, the people who are running the things, the people who, the hands who it's supposed to be safe in will come to the fore. But at the moment, it's too difficult to tell. It's not in good hands at the moment, but it's because I don't think we can really tell whose hands it's in.
Like, let's face it, right now, people who are like really, really running the game is like, I'm going to put it to you how I see the commercial side, the likes of the Nasty, the Blakey, and then we have like this big Kosa coming in, like, and then we have the big Zulus, and then we have this lyrical side where like PdotO is like literally standing alone there, like not even competing with anybody. And then we have like some reasons which I wish Reason could like give us more, but yeah,
give us more.
Reason like was kind of like standing up for hip hop. I don't know if you get my point. Like now he's being more musical. At some point he was standing out for hip hop, being a pioneer, a leader. So I wish he could do more of that. Not saying he should forget about hip hop and kill hip hop.
Is he making hip hop?
I don't know. I'm saying he used to make a whole lot of hip hop standing up for the culture. So
yeah, I get
it. It's like the likes of my come back and just hold it back, like But yeah, they're growing up, I guess.
I get you. I don't agree with your list at all, but I understand.
Why did you agree with my list?
I don't know. I feel like some people on there just haven't been given enough time for us to say that they are running things at the moment. Being a meme for 3 months doesn't constitute running things. 3 months. Before the 3 months, we didn't know you.
Okay, let's do this. Like I said, right now, and what we're talking about right now, if we're being fair, we're going to talk about this lockdown period. Right? It can be from last year, it can be from this year, but we're talking about this lockdown period, right?
Yeah.
Who's been running the numbers here? Like, because now we're talking about the internet. There's no we're talking about the gigs because they're not here. We're talking about the numbers. Who's breaking the numbers? Who's doing the moves? You need the Blackies? You need
Fine, whatever. Whatever. Wait, if we're talking numbers, what numbers are we talking? Are we talking streams? Are we talking sales? Are we talking merch sales? Because now the landscape has changed so much. What are we measuring?
Let's generalize. Because
no, we can't. You can't generalize. You must tell me what's your metric? What are you measuring with? Are we measuring with streams? Sharp, all the people you said then it's right. I believe you. If we're talking about impact, I can't say that.
Silas, you disappointed me, bro. I trusted you so much.
Those are my words, and I'm sticking to them. Impact is measured over a long period of time. Don't give me 3 months and tell me that this person's impactful. Aye, man, leave me. Memes don't count for me. And I'll tell you, let me tell you one last thing. My last thing with regards to that, with the TikTok's not, it's not helping us, but it's not just a South African problem. It's a worldwide issue. That songs are being made for the drop, those 5 seconds, where someone can make a funny video or something big, and it's breeding such garbage music, in my opinion, because everybody's focused on, is it possible for this track to be used in a dance challenge? You can call me an old head if you want to, but your song can't be based on whether or not someone can dance a little bit for 5 seconds and then do a challenge out of it, man. That's not impact for me, because we're gonna forget you.
When you put it that way, I cannot argue. Of course, like, you're winning now. So I want to answer to this question. It seems like quite important here. I've pinned it there. Right.
Okay. What can guys do in terms of brand to get eyes on themselves, both rappers and producers, especially in a pandemic? This one's been a difficult one. So if there is budget, because I know with some people they do have a little bit of budget, those who have been able to work and save, definitely putting in a little bit into ads, Facebook ads, that type of thing, trying to just sort out their image in that way. But if there is no money and you're actually just trying to get your music out there, I would say this is probably a nice time to try and collaborate. And collaborate might be getting in studio with 10 other people on different days, obviously. And just create a bit of a catalog so that when the time comes that you can push hard with gigs and all of that you're in a good space. Collaboration can also be doing a duet through TikTok. That can also be a collaboration. There's a guy by the name of Curtis King who was talking about TikTok the other day, and he was saying that just by him playing a beat in the background and him just bobbing his head to it and saying, duet me, he then got a whole, I think he said, was it 8,000 other rappers who then jumped on his beats on TikTok. I'm not really on TikTok that much. So that's what made me, I was like, open my eyes and I was like, wow. And also the other thing is you don't have to be, to answer the question, you don't have to use this period now to get eyes on yourself. This can be the period where you sharpen your craft, you work on saving up so that once you're able to do stuff, you're then able to make it count, as opposed to, trying to do a half job now.
Yeah. I hope like you fully answered, my brother. Like, I'm satisfied down here.
There's a comment here. There's another comment here saying, please don't be a hip hop snob. The word garbage is subjective. TikTok gives an okay. I see where he's going, but I was waiting for this. It's got to do with, because I used the word impact. I use the word impact, and impact I define to be something that it's impactful over a long period of time. Maybe I must state what I mean when I say long period of time. I mean to a place where your track is, I don't like using the word classic because that's also very vague. Where your track is timeless is also a very vague concept, but to a place where, man, we remember you. Like when you make music, you don't make music so that they can dance to you. Some people do, I guess. They want their 15 minutes of fame and they get it. Yeah. If that's what they want, that's what they get. But for me, my metric, the thing of long-term longevity, just being a constant, I'm not going to remember. There's a song. To this day, I have not taken the time out to go and find the name of. I know you know it. What you know about golden din 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 din. You know that song? It's a song. It always plays on TikTok before every.
Oh, oh.
It plays all the time. But for the life of me, I don't know who it is. I can't tell you who sings it. I don't know who made the beat. I don't care. And the song's gonna fade and it's gonna be gone. So yeah. But he's yeah.
Silas. Ah. Yeah, I guess, yeah, but who knows? Some people might care to check what's going on. Not,
Then
not everyone.
they must enjoy themselves.
Yo.
Everybody to each their own. To each their own. Let them enjoy. I'll enjoy as well. I'll try to.
Oh my God. I was thinking, I think I lost you a bit. So, like, in there. So, tell me, have you ever worked with artists that feel like entitled to the things that you have? Like, maybe since, like, yeah, for example, now I'm interviewing you, I feel like you're entitled to bringing me to the studio with PdotO. I feel like you're entitled, like, I'm entitled to that. Like, now you're obliged to give me that. Like, do you ever work with such artists? Or maybe they feel like, Silas, I've worked with you 5 times. Now the beat has to be like half price. Do you meet those people?
Oh yeah. Yeah. But
How
they do that before we even work the first time. They already like that.
how do you
People
deal
are
with that? Like,
oh dude. I'm I guess I'm tired now. I used to try and like finesse and work around it and explain, you know what, I put my heart and soul into this beat and I need to get paid as well and this is my price, my blood, sweat and tears.
eh,
Now I can't do that too much. Now it's just like, look, this is the price.
what?
Not everybody is going to be my client, unfortunately. You go into a shop,
Ooh,
sometimes you go into the shop, you don't want to buy. You can't buy. You just walk out. They're not your client.
I like that. Some people just want to sell everything. So, like, yeah, I feel it, bro. So, personally, now, what are you currently working on?
Hey, bro, I'm just trying to keep the studio afloat at this point. It just opened up. This is the first month of things running. I'm just trying to make sure. Yeah, July was our first month. There's even a young July special for those people who don't want to pay full price. Yeah, so that's it now. Just making sure that this thing runs, like it goes. And the difference between this and what I was doing before is before I was running every single session. And now there's a team, there's a small team going of engineers and other people that have outsourced just to help with everything. So just getting into a place where everything is just running well. Give it a couple of months. Hopefully that'll be the case. So in terms of project wise at the moment, I'm just working on whatever comes into studio.
I like that. So, like, it means you're just about to be more and more expensive now.
No, no, that's not what it means. If I can, if we had a strategy meeting where we were actually talking about keeping the studio. Okay, so the whole thing about that studio, the whole thought process was behind it was to create a space for artists and other creatives to come and use that feels comfortable. It feels like a bedroom studio, the comfort of a bedroom studio or a home studio, but then get the same quality that you'd get in a big,
Yeah.
expensive studio. So that was the idea behind it. And as part of that, I'm not going to be like some of these studios where they're charging you, is it 1,200 for an hour of recording? And it doesn't make sense. No one's going to come through those doors.
Hey, sometimes I wonder how it operates. Like, do people really go and pay so much money? Like, when you can
Mm.
just get a professional. I'm not saying go to someone cheap. Like, you can get a professional for better fees. You really have to pay so much money? Damn.
They've got their clients. Clearly, if their doors are still open, like I was saying with that whole thing of people wanting a cheaper price, maybe it's just not for us then. It's the same reason some people they go and they buy Gucci I'm not the client for Gucci. You see what I'm saying? But someone wants
I
it.
get you. So are you saying like I want to like speaking on that? Are you ever gonna get to a point where you think you're gonna overspend on some unnecessary things, or are you just gonna keep it to yourself like this?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I hope not. I hope not. I really, really hope not.
Hey, all right, man. Look, bro, like, I want to thank you for coming through to the show. I really appreciate you having it, like, spending your time with us and telling us about yourself and where you've been.
No, I appreciate having being here, man. Thanks for calling me on.
Before you leave, tell me, what's the weirdest thing you've ever experienced in studio?
Weirdest thing. Whew. So the weirdest thing is not. I don't want to mention it here. It's not legal. The weirdest thing that happened in studio. Phew. I've got so many of them, but I don't want to make not for here. We'll have a conversation offline, off air. um, but one of the weirdest things I would say was I had a client who came in, and the first thing they did to get comfortable was they took off their shoes, they put them in the corner, and they started walking around. They're just like, I just want to feel comfortable. They sat on the carpet. They just wanted to, you know, feel comfortable in that space.
Ooh. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. We work in different,
Yep.
but like, yeah. Thinking about it, like, there are some tradition. I don't know if I should say traditional or spiritual people who don't really do good with having shoes on. So, like, yeah, I might understand. Let's
Yeah, and
get through this.
I didn't tell them to put their shoes back on. I was like, okay, you do you. A lot of people do weird things in the studio. They do weird things, and like, who am I to tell you um how to get into your zone? Just as long as it doesn't affect me, it doesn't
Yeah,
damage the equipment, and it makes the session better. That's all I ask.
yo,
Uh,
being with people is something else, bro. Like, yeah. So, like, yeah, let's get down to these questions down here before we can leave. This
okay.
this brother is fighting here. He's saying it's funny how someone can say like they can't afford 1,000 B and spend 5K with love. What's your take on that? Like, I think he's speaking based on you saying you can't afford to pay like so much money for hourly rate.
Oh, it's funny how someone can say they can't afford 1,000 rand beat and they spend 5,000 in a club on bottle. That's priorities, man. That's
Hmm.
priorities. That's all it is. There is not, and I can't tell you what to do with your money. You worked hard, whether
Yeah,
you stole that money, whether that money was earned through a job, whether it was given to you. You do what you need to do. If you want the shoes, get the shoes. If you want studio time, get studio time.
you know, like one of the artists I've interviewed said like people have money for what they want to have money for. Like, if someone wanna be the best dresser, they'll have clothes for that. If they want to drink, they'll have money for that. So like, yeah, I
Exactly.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, here's a little question: have you ever had a bad artist come through? Like, I would like to experience
Ooh,
this one.
yeah. No. Ugh. I'll say music's not for everybody. And we had this conversation yesterday, actually, at the end of at the end of the day when we sat together. We were having just a quick brainstorming meeting, and we were like, what we're finding a lot now is people who listen to music are starting to create music. Can I say fans? Back in the day, you find that the people who had to go through the process of learning how to make music, they would maybe pick up an instrument or they would do something, they would learn an extra skill so that they could make this music thing happen. So by the time you saw them, they were polished. Nowadays, all you need is a laptop, a little bit of, you just need a mic and you're good to go. So a lot of fans of music, people who should just be listening to good music, are trying to make music. And it's bad. It's bad. And on my side, I try and help. I honestly, sometimes I try and help where I can, but there's at the same time, we need to also be a bit realistic as to, what people are capable of.
Have you ever told a nigga that that's why we can't do that? Like, have you ever done that?
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever use those words. That's whack. I don't think I'd be able. I don't think I'd do. I would let them. Well, what I'm trying to do now more is let people know where their limitations are. So
Mm.
if someone is like, they come in and they sing, they want me to apply auto tune, and they're like, look, I want to sound like Travis Scott. Then I'll be like, okay, let's just do some expectation management. Travis Scott is probably not something that we're going to be able to achieve, but this is what we can move towards, and then we move that way. So it's kind of like a nice letdown, because I also want to preserve the confidence that they do have, because people can improve. People can still improve. There's people who apparently, who was it? Someone was saying when they first heard MT. I don't know if the story is true, but yeah, when they first heard him in high school, they were like, "Ah, man, this guy here, this guy's nonsense." But
Yeah.
many years later, he had actually developed. He just changed his sound. He changed the idea. He changed a couple of things, and boom! I don't want to be the guy who has to eat my words in 5 years' time because I told you that your song was whack. So yeah, that's
Mm.
why I try and make it as constructive criticism as I can.
Yeah, I like that. So like homie can still come back and make a better hit.
Mm.
Alright, man. I'm just going to lose you. Like, oh, should you check this last question? Do you listen to music more than you produce?
Also, producer, do you listen to music more than you produce? Or I'm guessing, or is it the other way around?
Yeah.
I listen to music more than I produce. No, actually, I don't listen to much music. I've got my favorite songs, but I'm not like heavy on the radio or heavy on um Spotify or whatever it is.
Give me five of your your go to five, like your
Go
go
to
to
five
songs,
what?
your go to songs, like five of them.
Five of my go-to songs.
Yeah.
Phew. I'd say anything off of. It depends what for. Like just to listen to.
Yeah, like when you feel like you just wanna be away from the world and just enjoy yourself as a person.
I listen to anything by a lot of Timberland, a lot of just well-produced stuff, man. What else is really well-produced? I listen to John Bellion from time to time. I listen to Dre. Dre's last project. I know it was some time ago, Compton, but
Oh yeah.
I just really, really, really well mixed. So when I'm feeling a bit, when I'm feeling a little bit good about my music, I'll go and listen to his mixes, and it'll put me in my place very, very quickly. But when I'm trying to get away, it's usually just really relaxed stuff. But to be honest, when I'm in the car, it's usually like podcasts and audiobooks, and sometimes just silence.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that. I thought you probably be bumping music all the time. Like, yo.
But I need a break, man. Come on, I can't be making music. I'm eating music in the day. I'm eating music when I'm not around artists. No, man, it's too much. Ears need to rest.
People breathe music, Sarah.
Alright, no. I need a break, bro.
Yeah, but so thank you again for coming through.
All right, man.
I'm just gonna let you go.
All right.
Yeah. Oh God. Yo man, shout out to y'all for tuning in. It's been a dope show. Like I really appreciate y'all for being through like all these crazy times and like y'all been participating in a crazy way. Shout out to y'all, man. We out of here. Conversation with the stars. Next time I come here, I got something crazy. We out of here.